So naitwa Furaha Ruguru. I am a Kenyan music journalist. I've been doing this for over 7 years now, based in Kenya. And La Music Junkie is the brand I created back in 2016. It started off as a blog, and then it became also now on social media. That was the brand, and then it's just became a million other things. Yeah. Okay. So La Music Junkie started, 2015, 2016. Started off as a blog where I was writing, and I still write about music because music is one of my greatest passions. So I was writing about events happening, about my favorite musicians, about music that I thought people should know that was really good. And I was covering a lot of alternative music from around the world. Those were the pop era. That was the pop era. So Akina, who can I think of? Justin Bieber, Beyonce, all of that. And then slowly, I started also a radio show around that same time in Campus, and it was an extension of the blog. But now here I was now playing the music to people and talking about it. And then as I was doing that, I discovered Kenyan music. And how I discovered this was by listening to radio. There was a show called Afro Central that used to be air on, I think, Homeboys Radio by Patricia Kihoro. And she only used to play African music, alternative African music. So I discovered a lot of Kenyan music there. And also I started attending live shows, concerts. And I also was like, wow, who are all these artists? And why don't I know about them? And so now my platform became a place to highlight and spotlight these Kenyan musicians who are not known, who are not mainstream. It's a New Day by Webby playing right here on USIU Radio. New Day by Webby, of course, you might remember him as in Airtel Trace Music Star in 2015. He was a finalist, but he did not win the competition, but he continued making great music. And that song New Day is from his 2016 album Lukundo, which is also tighter for love. Yeah, and of course it's playing right here on USIU Radio 99.9 FM, which is the best urban campus station in Kenya. And you are just in time for the Music Junkies. Yes, we are back, of course, bringing the best underground music from the world. And then after campus, because I was in campus, started writing for other websites such as Tangaza Magazine. My social media was also a very active place because I used to now review events. Like I'd go to an event on Friday night, the next day I've written like a mini post, a mini blog on my socials about the event. So yeah, just the journey became about documenting Kenyan music and the Kenyan event scene, and also just putting people on Kenyan artists, and not just musicians, but I've interviewed spoken word artists. I've reviewed Kenyan films. So just spreading the word of Kenyan art to the world. Yeah, definitely. Miss Kihoro was a big inspiration when I was starting because she was doing what I was doing, which is being on radio and talking about Kenyan music and interviewing musicians. So yeah, definitely a big inspiration. Also, what's her name? Rabah. What's this? She used to host The Trend. Amina, yes, Amina. Amina also was, I used to see her on The Trend, I used to hear her on radio, and I loved her charisma. So for me, her charisma was like my inspiration. I was like, wow, you can really shine on TV, you can shine on radio while talking about entertainment. Yeah, I think, and then there are other writers that I've been reading. I remember when This Is Us used to blog. Actually, she's one of the reasons why I started blogging, because I saw her do it. Someone like Abigail Arunga, a fantastic writer. She also talks about Kenyan music, Kenyan artists. So yeah, those are some of the women I can say who've pioneered. So I'd say maybe one of the biggest challenges is doing this alone. So like when I was doing radio, I was the one recording, editing, publishing, marketing, same with my blog. So even starting a website, I had to do that all by myself. Um, so yeah, it's just having to do many of these things alone, because you don't have a team. Um, so yeah, that has been a major challenge because you're so, it's like all your time is taken doing these different things. And even now, like, I also run a newsletter every week. So again, that's extra work. I curate events on a Telegram channel. I'm reviewing events, I'm attending events, I'm hosting events. So that doing things by yourself has been a major challenge. And then I guess also the fact that we do most of these things for free because it's led by passion, not by money. So yeah, it's also that thing of getting financial reward from the work that you do. Like it's not easy peasy. It's not that you'll start writing and then you just get people asking you to write for them and you make money. And even if they ask you to write for them, the money is not that sustainable. So you have now to find other sources of income away from journalism to be able to sustain yourself. So also that lack of financial reward for all the work that you're doing. Yeah, I think those are the ones that stand out. Yeah. I mean, I think people would expect me to say that winning like an award was the highlight. So like in 2018, after 2 years of doing my radio show, I won a Sondeka Award for Best Online Radio, and that's because I used to record my shows and put them online. So even if you couldn't tune in, you had it. And that was a moment of, like, you could say, validation that wow, people actually listen and care about this work. But I think for me, my biggest achievement is just hearing people telling me how much this work has introduced them to new artists or has helped their careers as musicians. Like more people know about them because I reviewed their event or I interviewed them. So I love receiving that feedback that what I was doing actually made impact in someone's life. I would say I haven't experienced challenges directly, but I do feel that men have more opportunities to grow in this journalism field. Like they would be offered jobs more easily than a woman. So yeah, I feel like there is a barrier there. It's like an invisible barrier that no one talks about, or yeah, it's not talked about, but it's there. So Hadithi Hangout is a monthly book club that we started here at Santuri, and we've been doing this we're in our 8th month. So I think we started in October 2024, I'm not sure, but every single month we meet here at Santuri Salon in Westlands and we read a book together and we discuss it. So in December, we started reading a book called Shades of Benga. This is Shades of Benga. And it's a book about, it's the story of Popular Music in Kenya, 1946 to 2016. So basically, this is a book about Kenyan music history. And it's a book I've wanted to read for a long time. So we finally got a copy. And now since December, we've been going through the book every month, reading about a different music genre. So we've read about benga, we've read about rumba, twist, tarab, and today we are going to be discovering the big bands of the 1970s and 80s, talking about the clubs that were big, Akina Carnival, and also about the international record labels that were in Kenya at that time. Because back in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, there were a lot of record labels that were recording, distributing the music. So also learning about them and also why they left. So what I hope we get from this is just reconnecting to our roots, reconnecting to our culture, learning about our legends, getting inspired by them, and ultimately making music that reflects our past, making music that is connected to our history. There are different ways that I promote these artists. As I mentioned, I have so many platforms. So from the blog, that's where I'll interview artists or I'll review their events or even review the top albums of the year. Like I've been doing that for a couple of years now. I've also done a podcast where I interview these musicians, and that has helped them be seen and heard, literally. I also love like vile ulienda tu Swahili, like ulichafua.
Swahili.
Ulisafisha.
Funny enough, nikiwa high school, I was unaona wale students wa kuongea kizungumi. In high school. But then I failed in English and excelled in Swahili. So I was like, mbona basi ninangangana na kizungu mingi? So, and to me, when I'm writing, it comes naturally in Swahili. And then it's like Swahili.
Ile safi, sanifu.
When I'm writing, it's just different. When I am talking, nikani sheng. And then when I am speaking and maybe having conversations, it's mostly like I can't explain it.
And then come to events, because I also host events. So here at Santuri, we've done a number of events like live acoustic shows. We had a series called Spotlight Sessions, which used to spotlight this underrepresented alternative artists. So they get to perform live and also get exposed to a new audience who didn't know about them. What else? Also through DJing, I get to play a lot of this amazing Kenyan music that's not very popular, and people get to discover something new and discover new artists. So there are so many ways that this happens. Social media is also another avenue that I do this. So someone might discover an artist from the podcast, another one from my newsletter, another one from the blog, another one from an event. So it's spreading the gospel in different ways, and people will get it in whichever way. Yeah. Okay. I think I would encourage them by telling them to do what I did when I was starting, which is get inspired by other people. If you're feeling like you have the passion and the desire, but you're scared, or you feel like you can't do it, look at other people who are doing it, other women who are doing it. They will show you the way, directly or indirectly, whether it's you're talking to them one-on-one. I mean, you can always DM someone and ask them a question, or just by watching them from afar. That is enough inspiration, because that's how I started, by being inspired by other people. And then another way is go to art spaces. Go to spaces where there are other artists, because they will also challenge you and inspire you. For example, Santuri is a perfect example of a place where artists are here all day, every day, right? So you'll meet a musician, you'll meet a visual artist, you'll meet a producer, you'll meet like a gamer, so many artists. So being around a community of artists also challenges you and gives you that confidence to start. And then, yeah, I always say just follow your bliss, follow your passion. Even though it might not make financial sense at the beginning, even though your parents don't approve of it, even though you don't know how to do it, follow that bliss. Follow that thing you love. If you feel like I want to do a podcast, find out how do I start a podcast, right? Or find someone who's already doing it and ask them for advice. Just follow that bliss because it will just shape your whole journey. I feel that's the best inspiration you can get from within. Yeah. One of my hobbies is discovering. So I think how I stay fresh and how La Music Junkie stays fresh is by always discovering. So like I will listen to an artist I have never heard of before, or maybe someone recommends, says, oh, there's this artist, I'll go listen. Like recently I listened to an album called Black Savage, and it's by a band called Black Savage, which was active in the 1970s in this Kenya of ours. And they do like psychedelic rock pop, like that's something way out of my comfort zone. But I listened to it and I got like a few songs that I really liked. One of them is Kothbiro. Kothbiro by Ayub Ogada. So he was in that group, and before he became a Nyatiti musician, he was doing that like psychedelic rock stuff, and they did a version of the first version of Kothbiro is like, it sounds grungy. It's actually not a Nyatiti song. So it's always just keeping my ears out. If I hear a song that sounds amazing, I'll find out like what's that song, go listen to that musician. So my eyes are always just open to discover new things, so that if I like it, I share it. And if I don't, I won't. Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, I want to be remembered as the person who put people on amazing music through all the different channels I mentioned. I want to be remembered as a cultural ambassador, someone who was proud to be African and really used music as a way to tap into culture and to share that culture with the world. And yeah, someone who had fun doing it and spread, happiness, joy, furaha doing it. So I would say find reasons to be confident, find reasons to believe in yourself, and that could look like surrounding yourselves with people who are positive. So surround yourself with people who will encourage you. Usikae na watu ambao who will tell you, oh, art does not pay, or you're wasting your time. No, find people, find artists so that they can help you grow and give you that confidence. And then also learn. Like, of course, the internet is a huge resource. So if you want to learn about video editing, for example, usiseme tu, oh, I'm not good at this, I suck. No, go learn. Do an online course. Get someone who's already doing it. Like, upskill. Do your best to upskill in those things that you feel you're not good at, because once you get better at them, you get more confident. Like, remember who you are as a Kenyan, as an African, as a human being. Tap into your roots, because that's where you're going to get like your identity, and you're going to get your sense of, just feeling like this is who I am. And when you know who you are, you can do amazing things. You can create amazing things.